Hello and welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. Today is December the 13th, Friday, actually. I'm not superstitious. You?
No, not at all. Wow, Friday the 13th.
Today is Friday the 13th.
There's a movie, Friday the 13th.
That was actually a good vintage horror movie, Friday the 13th. All right, we are counting down the days to the 2020 Australian Open. So we are going to do another pre-Australian Open tennis discussion, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's an exhibition going on right now?
I think in Abu Dhabi. I think there's kind of...
I think Medvedev's there from what she has said.
I think Djokovic. I think Nadal is there. I'm not sure if Federer's there or not.
I don't think so. I mean, most of the tennis players are vacationing right now.
Yeah, so. I think there's like a preset exhibition bracket, and I think Djokovic and Nadal have buys. I think so. You know, it's a fun thing. I think, but an exhibition. I think exhibition-esque. I think you could say, right? Yeah. All right, real quickly, let's go. Come on, woo! Absolutely great to be back in this chair with a knee that I can flex. I got a cast that I think I get cut off on Monday, and I'm bending my knee, and I'm getting back in the saddle. Let's get down. Woo! Let's ride. By the way, pay no mind to my Detroit Tigers hat. I am a San Francisco Giants fan and a San Francisco 49ers fan. This is a hat I got a wicked good deal on. I think I paid like 50 cents for a brand new era hat at a garage sale that just fit me perfectly, so let's get down on that too. So I'm wearing my hat because of that.
Wow, you're really happy today.
And that's that.
You're happy on a foggy, rainy, dreary day.
Let's go. All right. Real quickly, as we start this now the third pre-Australian Open and pre-2020 show, real quickly, I wanted to remind everyone about the fantasy team selections that we will do when the Australian Open begins. And the two top winners of that fantasy team competition will receive either a 5K tennis shirt or a YTEX Strings shirt, or two sets of YTEX Strings, your choice. Some of the t-shirts are size depending. We don't have a ton of different sizes, but we'll figure it out. But how those fantasy teams work is you will select a total of 8 women's players and 8 men's players. And on both your men's and women's teams, you may only have 4 players, 4 men, 4 women, seeded, not ranked, but seeded within the top 20. And your other 4 players, or however many players you wish, have to be seeded outside of the top 20. So real quickly, so I don't have to spend a lot of time on it, I just made up an example right here of how I might select my fantasy team for the Australian Open. Let's say for the men's, on the men's side. Let's say I picked Federer, Djokovic, Nadal, Raonic, Milos Raonic, Borna Coric, Basilashvili, Yannick Sinner, and Denis Shapovalov. Let's just say I picked those players. I've got Federer, Djokovic, and Nadal, all that are seeded, are going to be seeded in the top 20. So every time they win a match, they will score 1 point, because those seeded within the top 20 are only worth 1 point per match win. However, my other players, Raonic, Coric, Basilashvili, the young Yannick Sinner, and the young Denis Shapovalov would be hypothetically seeded outside of the top 20. Therefore, they give me 2 points each. So every match that these players win at the end of the tournament will add up their score. And the same on the women's side. We'll combine those 2 scores, and the top 2 finishers will win the aforementioned. Okay, so remember that, and we'll get more into that and do a video where we must submit our selections within that video shortly, within the next, say, 15-20 days or so. Also, the tennis racket giveaway, I don't know if you can see it, it's for a Yonex V-Core 97. We do a tennis racket giveaway at every major. And we will be doing that once again for the Australian Open 2020. And how that works is you will select, or predict rather, your 2 men's finalists for the Australian Open and the women's finalists for the Australian Open, and predict both winners. You only have to have 3 of the 4 finalists to make it into the finals, and both winners. So as long as you choose 3 out of the 4 finalists and select both winners or predict, then you will win the tennis racket. All right?
Awesome.
More on that moving forward.
Yes.
Today's show, we've got some topics. We're going to shoot right through them. Let's jump right in. We're going to start off topic number 1. Svitolina adds Baghdadis to her coaching staff.
She didn't get rid of the other coach.
I think she still
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. You know.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
Just stay positive. Stay positive.
Yeah. Baghdadis. Yeah. How would you coach her?
Well,
What would you tell if you're Baghdadis? What would you tell Slovenia? What would you tell her?
Well, question number one: does this make any difference to Svitolina's chances of winning her first major? Do you think so?
No, I just think it makes it more interesting for us just to watch, and it makes it more interesting for Baghdadis, who just retired from tennis, keeps him going into the tennis world still, and maybe adding coach to his resume. Yeah.
So you think that the addition of Marcos Baghdadis to Svitolina's coaching staff will make zero difference at the end of the day in terms of her finally winning her first major?
He has more experience. He played men's tennis at a high level. Maybe there's something he can tell her. I mean, what I would tell her is probably bulk up a little bit more and let's start getting some more pace on your shots instead of being so defensive. Let's put winners. Let's put points together where they're actually winners and more effective against stronger opponents like an Andreescu or a Osaka or a Kvitova. Players like that.
I'm not buying it.
No, I don't think it's going to make it different.
It.
I'm just saying that's what I would say to her if I was her coach.
I'm not buying. I'm selling it completely. First of all, back to the first statement you made. You mentioned, right when I mentioned Svitolina. If you don't recall watching a lot of Svitolina's coaching sideline not tirades, but we have to watch the just hideousness of coaching on the sidelines these days, which is unfortunate. I won't get into that here, but when you watch these two on the sidelines, her coach that she had all of last year and before many years would always be like, yeah, stay positive, yeah. So what I'm guessing is when you said that, you were reminding me of her coach and how they would kind of approach one another.
Right.
Marcos Baghdadis, on the other hand, is a habitual racket smasher. I think Marcos Baghdadis has made our list of tennis bad boys.
Yeah,
here.
I think he went through
six
rackets.
Six rackets
at
once. Let me crack this one. Give me another one. Blah.
He was fun to watch.
So what I'm guessing though, the theory here is that you've got the super positive. Guy, and now you've got this like the bottom of the barrel racket smasher. So you've got the yin and the yang. You've got the opposing forces. So maybe it'll make a happy medium.
And you got the boyfriend who is makes a show out of tennis.
Monfils.
So she's got everything.
Okay, so here
she's got action, comedy, and what?
Okay, let's classify this.
Positivity?
Svitolina now has on her coaching staff I don't know where Svitolina's inherent coach is from, the one that's always but he sounds like, like the typical British guy or someone
He's not British.
Or Irish or somewhere.
No, he's not Irish. I mean, where is she from? She's from No, she's not from Belarus.
Ukraine.
She's from Ukraine. He might be around that area.
Well, when in his approach to coaching on the sidelines, he seems very like the typical British guy, like at your local Irish pub. Stay positive, okay, stay, move, stay good, it's all good, it's all good. And then Marcos Baghdadis is on the other hand is like, give me this racket, blow, give me that one. Wow.
He's from Cyprus, right?
And wasn't Marcos Baghdadis was Patrick Mourtoglu's one of his very first students that helped put Patrick Mourtoglu on the map as a tennis coach, right?
Yes,
Correct me if I'm wrong there.
That's true, yeah.
So now Svitolina in the middle of that has the very promising acrobatic guy.
He was promising.
Gael Monfils.
He just had Federer in the way at that time.
But Gael Monfils, by the way, is on my list of the best that never won a major. We've talked about this, the David Ferrer.
Or the best clown, because there's a few clowns in tennis. He's a clown in the tennis court.
Well, yes, but I think Kyrgios is the ultimate clown. It's hard to beat the hideousness of Kyrgios's clownsmanships. But nonetheless, so Svitolina has the super positive. It doesn't matter, right? You're playing good, but you can play better. Yes, stay good. Stay good.
Oh, I want to hire him just so
Let's go.
I would hire him just to hear him coach me, just to hear the accent.
Don't yell at the kids right now. Just stay positive.
I would laugh the whole time.
Just stay positive, just stay good. I know just stay good. The clothes just piled back up, but stay good.
Maybe she hired Baghdadis to teach her how to smash rackets.
Smash rackets, yeah. Channel the energy through the smashing of tennis racket breaking.
Yeah.
And then she has Monfils to kind of, throw a plan C, the
do a flip, do
a back flip, 360 through the legs or something, right?
Yeah.
All right, so moving forward, does this help her at all? Yes or no?
No.
I don't think so either. It gives them something to talk about. Let's talk about them now. Let's talk about them. All right, it does not help. However, I wrote here, and you called it before. You didn't even see me write this. The positive, yeah?
No,
So
no.
I think we'll hear a lot more of that next year.
And we might as well get used to the on-court coaching because it is starting from the juniors. Coaching is allowed at UTR tournaments, which I didn't know about. You are allowed to coach your student at a junior tournament, sometimes juniors play adults. So it's starting there too. So that means it's probably going to stick.
I'm going to start being like, what? Move your feet.
Well, I might as well put my kids in and start coaching them like, this person doesn't have this good.
Hit it to their backhand.
Yeah, you can coach.
He can't hit that shot. Hit it over there.
Might as well do like baseball.
That kid can't hit a volley. Draw him to the net, man. Bring him in. Then lob the buffoon.
Make sure you call the ball out if it's close in the line.
Are you serious? All right. Topic number two. Oh, wait a minute. Poll question. Does Alina Svitolina, does she ever win a major?
No. There's just too many good players ahead of her.
All right. Number two. Caroline Wozniacki and Carla Suarez Navarro are retiring from tennis. Thoughts on that, Carla?
I'm not shocked. I mean, Wozniacki was dealing with rheumatoid arthritis, which is tough to deal with, especially being a professional athlete. She was number one for a long time, the number one that never won a Grand Slam, and then finally did. She can't complain. She'll be in the Hall of Fame, Tennis Hall of Fame for sure. Good for her. She's married. She seems happy. The women's field has passed her by a lot. As far as Suarez Navarro, I heard she's getting married to her girlfriend, and life goes on. She tried to. The most beautiful one-handed backhand besides Henin. Good for her. I mean, they had a great career. They can't complain.
Yeah. First and foremost, I'm very sad to see Carla Suarez Navarro go. Congratulations on her partnership and her moving forward, though. It's going to be tough for me on the women's side to have that many people that I always want to root for as a dark horse. Suarez Navarro, as Carla just indicated, has a really beautiful one-hander. Backhand, that is, if you don't know who we are talking about. And she has a fight to her that's very Schiavone-like, if you know what I mean. She's very Schiavone-like, but I think she was even better than Schiavone.
Yes, agree. But she just had too much talent, and there was too much. It was tough to be in her era.
Yeah.
You had the Serenas, you had the Henins, you had the Kleisters. Now you have these young guns coming. So it was tough for her. She tried her best. She did make a few quarters, I think.
Yeah, really tough to see her go.
Doesn't it make you realize how old we're getting? Because you were watching these players, and now they're all leaving. It makes you feel like, wow, I'm old.
You know, and I do have to tip my hat to Sam Stosur, because I don't think she has yet turned in her farewell chip yet at this point. So good for her, the Aussie Sam Stosur. But back to Suarez Navarro. Love the player, love her as an athlete, love her as a competitor. Her personal life is irrelevant to me. She's a fine tennis player, and she will be dearly missed. Wozniacki, from a coaching perspective, from a player's perspective, I don't care for her game.
She did what she had to do. With the type of game that she had, at least she wasn't like Roswanska, who was never able to win a slam with her type of game.
Okay.
She won a slam. Safina tried. Safina tried, was number one like her for a long time and could never win a slam. And Safina had more firepower than her.
Yes.
And never was able to win
so
one.
Remember that real quick. From a coaching perspective, remember that thought you just said. We're coming right back to that. From a coaching perspective and from a player's perspective, and from, say, a father sharing it with their kid's perspective, I wouldn't share her tactics in game from a plan A perspective to any of the above mentioned, nor would I play that way. Highly defensive, very Radzwanska-ish in a sense, and we'll talk about that. However, she is a fine athlete. She is a wonderful person on and off the court. She is an absolute steward to the game of tennis. She has been number one in the world for a very, was she number one in the world for almost 2 years straight, yet she didn't win a major. She just played a lot of tournaments and had a lot of wins within those tournaments.
Right.
And I think that was maybe 2014, 15, or maybe even earlier than that. I don't recall. And then Petra Kvitova came around and started kind of pushing around a little bit in majors, if I remember correctly. Anyway, but from a off-court perspective, from a young lady perspective, and from a beautiful girl perspective, A+.
Yeah, and she's from Denmark. I think number one player in Denmark. I mean, she went through her troubles too. Had a guy that left her pretty much. And then she became a champion. So it helped her.
Can you check time and make sure the camera's still rolling? I don't have anyone to help us little guys in there. But real quickly, to me, I think it's what time are we at?
15.
I think it's intriguing or interesting rather, that we have Suarez Navarro and Wozniacki going out at the same point in time next year. And one, as you just indicated, that you're like sure ballot Hall of Famer, and then maybe no mention of Suarez Navarro being a Hall of Famer. See,
well, you have to win a Grand Slam. I think you have to. It's just tough.
And this is the thing that I would have to agree to disagree with you, because you're right in your argument. You're right. I mean, a Hall of Famer in tennis, I mean, if you can't put David Ferrer right in there,
we're not going to see him.
I get the argument, but Suarez Navarro has really hung on to her game from that one-handed backhand. Her one-handed backhand is very groffish. It's just elegant, it's traditional, and she hung on to it at the very top of the game for a very long time, within the top 10 in the world, if not hung right at that 10 spot for multiple years in a row.
No. Was she a double specialist? I don't know.
I don't recall her doubles career, and I should, and I'm sorry for not doing so, but Carla Suarez Navarro, I think, if she is like the Tomas Berdic's, or the David Ferrers, or the future to be Gail Monfises, or the future to be Kevin Anderson,
in that category.
Or the people that won't win a major probably, but are good enough to have if it wasn't for, say, Serena Williams, Novak Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer, then they would have won a couple. She should have been there. She should have been in the category, right?
Yeah, I mean, to me, she was better than Flavia Pennetta, who won the U.S. Open.
Beating Serena, right?
No, she beat her compatriot, Roberta Vinci. So she got very lucky that Serena kind of choked on that match. But I think that Suarez had a better chance of winning a Grand Slam than Pennetta would have ever.
Yeah, and I do find it interesting, too, though, that we hear that Wozniacki is retiring, and the only thing that we hear about is not the upcoming Australian Open, but her diva tennis match face-off against Serena in Denmark after the Australian Open. Have you heard about that?
No.
So the news is that Caroline Wozniacki's last official match will be an exhibition match against her BFF, as the article reads.
That is her best friend, yes.
And the whole BFF, just type out best friend forever. Why you gotta put the BFF? Doesn't that sound cheesy, BFF? Hey Carla, are you my BFF?
Oh.
Come on, man. It's cheesy, but whatever. That's Wozniacki stuff. That's diva stuff.
Well, they like that stuff.
They like that
stuff.
LOL. Maybe I can say this whole sentence that way. How do you do that? LOL, BFF. IDK W.
I don't know.
Okay, the future of human language is just.
Well, you don't remember once upon a time we had You don't remember back in how I think I was like 1920, Ebonics? Kids were learning how to speak that way.
All right.
Yeah.
We started from strings. All right. So here we go.
Ebonics.
All right. So look. So what I think is interesting though is that's the news on the block is Wozniacki's last match is against her BFF in Denmark.
Oh.
And I think it's in like May of 2020 or something.
Oh, good for them.
So it's so
they
cute.
They get to hug each other when they're done.
Can you wait to go watch the BFF match?
Oh,
it's LOL. Okay, I can't wait to watch the BFF match. So fun. Not. All right, won't be watching that match. But nonetheless, I wish Wozniacki very well. And her BFF well in the Australian Open. Next topic.
You think you got dumber for saying all that?
No, I felt pretty good about all that.
Okay, gotcha.
Let's get down. Woo! Topic number 3. This was Carla's the other day, and I wrote it down, and she didn't really realize it. We kind of discussed it for a minute, but here we go with it.
Oh,
in the United States, especially in college tennis, but even moving into the pro level, we have a lot of very nice facilities here in the United States. A lot of them that the laymen like us can't even go to. It's, they're private generally and very private for the most part. The public courts generally just grow roots and have ant piles around yonder in these parts. All right, and we picked one, Lake Nona, Florida. It's huge complex.
Huge.
Hundreds of millions invested, and so forth. Can the United States ever put another top 10 male tennis player on the map? Number one. American.
They can from other countries, not American.
We're going to get into that. Number two, why is that? Number three, you just mentioned non-American. Not that that matters,
No,
but
it doesn't matter.
But
It's
it doesn't
American.
matter, American or non-American. It matters because Carla and I, we coach, and we have a lot of students that are on the cusp of college tennis and so forth. And it doesn't matter where we go, and it's not a problem. I mean, they're competing, but most of the scholarships that are given out, if not 99.9% of them, are from international students, and no disrespect there, but from no schooling in the U.S. No.
I can tell you, I signed up for a group because I'm interested when my daughter gets older and my other son. And I've watched a lot of recruitment videos, and they want to come into the United States. They say their UTR score, which is pretty high over there, because we know tennis is pretty competitive overseas. Some of their GPAs are so low that they're still playing college. The college coaches that take them, that want them, and they say must be paid in full, scholarship paid in full, and they will do it.
In other words, what she's saying is that we know and are well aware of a situation in which you have a let's say a straight A 4.0 or 5.0, depending on your grading scale, student here in the U.S. that's a good, solid, dominant tennis player.
Yeah.
That's number two in their school, number two in their class, working, volunteer, across the board, 30 on their ACT type stuff. And they may not be quite as good
They wouldn't even be
as
considered.
someone with a D plus average that has never proven their self at any type of school whatsoever, but is a little bit better than someone else that worked really hard at it. Those scholarships are given away.
Well, before you go there, Justin, before you go there, here's the other thing.
And I get it.
Here's the other thing. I heard that in Europe, it's so much easier to play these UTR tournaments. There are so many. Whereas in the United States,
It's like two.
there's not many. And not only that, if you can't afford it, most of them are like $85, $100 or more to play.
How you gonna get
And
that?
then you got to pay for hotel and stuff and travel. A lot of these kids can't afford that. We can't. So they don't get a UTR score. So guess what the coaches say? No UTR score?
You're not
we
good.
can't even look at you.
We can't look at you. So let's we're going to speak
It's
from our
sad.
family
It's sad.
perspective, but not from. I'm going to put our family in a hypothetical perspective. We haven't entertained this perspective. We kind of do our. Anyway, I won't get into that. But let's say hypothetically you have a family of 7, okay, and let's just say Jonathan and Chris.
Well, it's happened with Jonathan. We already experienced it with Jonathan. He was not able to play USTA tournaments or UTR tournaments because we cannot afford them. So therefore, when he was asked, "Oh, do you have a UTR?" "No, I don't." We put him in a couple of tournaments where his UTR jumped up. But what's the point now? He's almost done with
All right.
it,
So the truth be told, then, it's okay. So you got you shed light on the subject.
Yeah, he
so
could
the
beat a lot of
truth
these players.
Truth be told, is let's just use our oldest son, solid player, dominant player. He wins tournaments. He makes finals pretty much every time.
Smart.
Sometimes he doesn't win the finals, but he's usually in the finals.
Smart.
We have 7 of us. So there's the 3 oldest ones, the 17-year-old, the 15-year-old, and the 10-year-old are all tournament ready and playing. So if we bring one, we're going to enter all 3. Otherwise, let's just not go because then 2 are just sitting there. So you're talking $80 a person, $240 just getting there. They're generally a couple hundred miles away. Generally, not always.
Well, yeah, the lower tournaments, the lower tier tournaments are around us, but they don't give them many points.
So anyway, you're going broke getting there, and because it's easier elsewhere to attain those ratings, it causes a problem when people are looking to give out scholarships for that reason. And we're not alone in this. It's pretty much every
It's a lot of
every
kids.
middle class tennis playing family in the country, because there's no public tennis courts that even work to train on. You have to be a member of a club or pay court fees or $100 an hour coaching fees to get lessons. Carl and I only charge $30, and we give 300% more effective and hardcore and in-your-face tennis lessons than anywhere even close.
Yeah.
For a third of the cost. And that's not a pitch, that's just the truth.
Right, I've read what coaches say. I charge $80, $100 an hour.
And just tapping balls.
I'm like, wow.
Man, I'm all up in your grill. Like, move, let's go. What are you doing? Come on. Right or wrong?
Yeah, but I think this is where the problem's coming. Why American players are not coming out? Well, they can't afford to do all these tournaments. Where I've seen in Europe and I've read in other places, I've read that there's so many of these tournaments, high-level tournaments these kids can enter at a lower rate. So they're constantly playing these tournaments, getting this experience, getting those points up. Where here it's tough. You've got to travel a lot farther.
Another issue in the U.S. with putting out, especially men, is the reliance on individual sports.
That's the other problem.
Football, basketball,
That's the other
baseball. It's not an excuse. That's just what if you turn on the television during this time of the year, you get football, you get basketball. Basketball will carry into, I think, the January, February, I think, the NBA Finals, and maybe even later, maybe May or June. And then you'll get some baseball through the summer, and then the football will crank back up, and college football. And it's really tough to pull a young man out of the United States, in my opinion, these days, and push he or she, especially in this context. Can we put out another men's player? I think the top men's player right now is John Isner at 19 in the world. I think. I have to check my math on that. I think Taylor Fritz has got to be somewhere around 30. I think I wrote this somewhere, and I don't recall right off.
Well, you know what? Here they're playing team sports, right? Well, there are more scholarships for those team sports. You don't have to have such a high GPA or a high SAT or ACT score to play football, baseball, and stuff. They recruit you, and it's not like tennis. Tennis, you have to, for an American player, Division III, and they're not giving you a sports scholarship. They're basing it on your academics. So it's different. Different.
So the back to the topic though is we have these places like the big, beautiful, multi-surfaced Lake Nona, Florida. And we have, and the courts are being played. It's rocking and rolling. But why can't we put out a U.S. player? It's because there's mostly international players playing there. For the most part, the tournaments, they're international based, and it's nothing against the international.
No,
it's the question here is why don't we have any U.S. Promising U.S. players that are really, oh my gosh, this kid. I mean, let's look at when Michael Chang and Pete Sampras, and let's even look at Agassiz when they first jumped up. You know, here this young man, and he's going to be great. And when was the last time you really saw this from a U.S. player on the men's side outside of Pete Sampras? Outside of, you can't tell me Isner's big serve ever lured you in. It's like he's the next big thing. Now, I mean, Isner, was top 10? I never thought he was top 10 in the first place.
When Roddy came out, I thought he might do something. He might do something.
I mean, he won a major, but
he might do something. We thought. And then it was Isner, and then you have Opelka, which I don't think he'll be. I think he'll be like Isner. Then you have Taylor Fritz, which will be maybe stay in the top 30, 40. Who else is American? Tiafo, wrong form. Whoever taught him, wrong.
Yeah.
All wrong.
Yeah.
Whoever was that coach, all wrong. Who else?
Look, the list goes on. The end of the day story here is with a very lavish tennis complex or a tennis layout in this country. It's very much controlled by private type clubs, and within those that aren't is basically international.
Justin,
and it's not a problem with the international. It's not. I believe in competition. I believe the best of the best. I'm saying, why is it that we cannot manifest a good U.S. men's player? And I'm saying because number one, the reliance on individual sports. Number one. Number two, the ease of it. It's very easy for a parent in the United States to give their young men and young ladies a smartphone. Tennis is one of the sports like boxing and like golf. Well, I'm not a golfer.
You gotta do it every day.
You gotta do it every day for multiple hours. And if you got a cell phone in your racket bag, you're just not going to be any good. And when you get to the college level, and I can speak for myself. When I got to the college level and I started meeting international players, I started getting beat a lot. I grew up in the U.S. and playing in the U.S. College level, at the junior level, I won everything. At the college level, I got beat a lot. But why? But what I'm saying is today in this day and age, it's hard to find even a U.S. player that gets into college to play anymore at the Division I level.
The only place that I see them playing at a Division I level is probably where you're from, California.
Yeah.
That's where most of the Americans are playing. The scholarships are given there. But here in the South, you speak Spanish, you're good. I'm sorry.
Look,
I've seen so many Spanish players, it's ridiculous. I have to laugh.
And even furthermore, from a coaching perspective, and personally, the both of us have coached all over the country. If you're a U.S. player or a U.S. coach and you just speak like me, your American language, then until they get to know you, you're kind of judged by your performance.
Not me.
But
not me. I've been approached just because of the way I look.
when you are a coach at some clubs in the United States, as long as you have Carla's look,
they think, she can coach.
Or if you have some type of accent.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna be fine. But like for me, meeting a new tennis family,
True.
All tennis people that I've ever met are wonderful people, from the admin office to the people that take care of the courts, and that's been me as well. But sometimes you have to get to know them, right? But a lot of times here, at least in this region that I've experienced, is that someone will get hired on with almost zero coaching experience and almost zero dedication to thereof because they have an accent or look the part or they're not from here. Yeah, positive. Yeah, kind of like Svitolina's coach. How good is he? Or is it just his accent from the television screen when we have to brutally watch coaching from the sidelines? But it's really easy here for someone as Carla to speak.
It's true. I've had ladies come up to me and say, "Hey, you think you want to coach at a country club? You look the par.
Yeah.
You don't even know if I know how to coach."
Exactly. Time check real quick so I know we need to close. So in the next 10 years, poll question, in the next 10 years, where are we at?
31.
All right. In the next 10 years, will we see a top 5 men's tennis player from the U.S.?
I hope so.
Yes or no?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. No. I think it's
easier for a coach here to get a player from overseas, bring him here, train him here, and make they're already good. Let's make him better. Than starting from maybe a kid that's not so talented or maybe doesn't have the money to put that investment into them. I think it's tough for a lot of coaches to do.
Man, I get passionate about that.
I think if we do see an American player, it'll come from the West Side.
I get passionate about the topic. I think the next best American men's tennis player will be an international player with a last name something like Shapovalov, but was just born here, and his parents were.
No, because you can't say that. I was born here. My parents were from.
No, okay.
No.
Parents that you had and parents like I had are not very common in parents that we meet today. That are like, you're gonna eat right, you're gonna go to bed, you're gonna go out and play tennis, or else you're gonna work out, you're gonna train.
You said
that's how we were raised.
The last name has nothing to do with anything.
I just threw the name out there because he's a good player and he's young, and Shapovalov is not. I think he's Canadian by birth, but his parents aren't Canadian, is what I'm saying.
No, they're not.
They're like Russian or something.
Yeah.
So my metaphor was, and maybe that came out wrong, but
it came out wrong.
Okay, sorry. Let me rephrase that. Denis Shapovalov, fine player. His ancestry is, I think, Russian.
Yeah.
But he was born in Canada, kind of like Anisimova, I think, right?
Was he born in Canada?
I he's Canadian. So. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Let me restate this so I can move forward so that it didn't come out wrong and no one shoots me. What I'm saying is that if we see another top American tennis player, right? I think it might be someone like Michael Chang, whose ancestry was Chinese, but was born. I think because the parents that
I see what you're saying. They had influence from their culture.
From their culture, yes.
Transferred over to their kids.
I don't think the inherent indigenous culture in the United States anymore is conducive anymore.
I get what you're saying.
Outside of isolated pockets to develop a dominant tennis player on the men's tour. I think people that were raised in bombed out swimming pools, like the Serbians, and I think people like...
it was in Sampras and Agassi from different... Their parents came from...
Agassi was Greek.
Exactly. And
Sampras was... Where was Sampras? Was he Greek too? Were they two Greeks?
I don't know.
Anyway, interesting though. Interesting. And
I don't think we'll see someone like Curry.
And it's a
American,
Yeah.
I don't think we'll see that again.
Anyway, very good topic. I enjoyed that.
Probably a touchy topic for a lot of viewers because some of them are international. Nothing against international players. Hey, my parents are from Honduras. No. I'm just seeing a lot of stuff happening that I don't think is right.
All right, so I still have another hour of stuff, and that'll be another good pre-show when we do it. So I'm going to end the show here today. That was really good. It was energetic. I felt good about it. That was really deep on all aspects. So I think I'm going to end it here today. I have a couple topics that we could go right into, but this one I know you're passionate about. You are.
I get angry a lot because I'm just seeing so much stuff that's not right. They need to put scholarships. Half of this goes to this, half of this goes to that. It's how it needs to be done, and they're allowing coaches, coaches, by the way, are those players that got those scholarships are now the college coaches. They take over those jobs, so they bring more people from overseas. It needs to be half and half. Just saying. It needs to be half and half. You can't have everybody speaking Spanish in your whole team. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Saying, we're in the United States. What's going on?
Yeah, and if you want to chat about it, let's chat about it.
Maybe some people don't like what I'm saying, but
that's okay. Look, we have very close friends, no names, have mentioned the schools.
I don't like it. I disagree with it.
That are head coaches of D1 schools, D3 schools, etc. And we have the same conversations with them. However, the flip side of that is that these coaches have to win to keep their jobs. They have to win to keep their jobs. Agreed. So there's a fine line to this. So if you're a coach and you have to win to keep your job, and you can't find a player from the United States to give a scholarship to that you could depend upon winning so you can keep your job, who are you going to give the scholarship to? The A student that may get you fired, or the D student that may make you win?
That's true. It's just
the problem.
It's just like private schools. They gotta win, so they go into get these football players that are not even in their district. You don't pay the whole school just to win that football game.
Dilemma.
Same thing.
Welcome to the United States, and that's how health insurance works too. At the same,
it works that way too.
Works that way too. Anyway, that's it for today, everyone. Let's talk about this one. I thought this was a great show. You knocked that one out of the park.
I know people are not gonna like it. Or not. But...
Much love to everyone. Vamos, let's go! Come on! Hope to get this cast cut off soon. Get back to playing. Subscribe to our channel. Please subscribe to our channel. That would mean a lot. We'll see you soon. Much love. Adios. Let's go. See you soon. Peace.